Do you just read the newspaper? Is that what you do? I mean, really, there's some really lousy news in the newspaper. I mean, kid was 16. I mean, really lousy news when he killed some cop, and it just goes on and on. It gets very depressing. So I have an idea. Don't just read the newspaper. Do something else with it. Right. I mean, there's a lot of things you can do with the newspaper. You haven't tried to do something else with the newspaper? Well, think about this. How many of you have ever had wet shoes? Yeah, right. Take crumpled up newspaper, put it in your old wet shoe, and voila. Do you know that newspaper acts much as baking soda acts in your refrigerator? It will keep mildew, it will draw out the moisture from your shoe and keep mildew and the nasty smells from staying in your shoe. That's right, it will help it dry much quicker. Well, there's some other things you can do with newspaper. How many of you have at one time or another worn a hat? Now I know we don't all wear hats anymore, but you could take the hats that you most enjoy, or anything else that you have that you want to maintain its shape, and that could be shoes as well, and use the newspaper to help keep the form of that object, whatever it might be, in clothing. Well, that's good to know, Joan, but really I don't have hats, and my shoes, I mean, I wear flip-flops, I don't really have, well, how many of you have mirrors, windows, solid surfaces in your home that sometimes get nasty marks on them? Ooh. Certainly, most of us. Do you know that you can use newspaper to very effectively not only remove nasty scum from your windows? I put a little too much on. But if I work at this with another piece of paper so I don't get lipstick all over myself, without water, I can actually remove all of this from this mirror. And I know because I've done it. And of course, if you use Windex or something like that, it's much quicker. And when you're finished, you have no film on your window. None at all. It's amazing. Why does this happen with newspaper? Don't ask me, but it works. How many of you have gardens? Have you tried newspaper, shredding it and using it in your mulch pile in your garden? Or using it to frame up beds or to keep weeds from growing in certain areas? Newspapers can be very handy that way. And let me tell you, sometimes I even clip them for coupons. There was a $2 coupon off of anything in Publix worth $2 or more this past Friday. There are other things that you can do with newspapers. You can entertain with newspapers. That's right. How many of you have children, grandchildren, nieces or nephews? How many of you have ever folded a boat out of a newspaper? It is so easy to do. It is a little form of origami, but children can be taught and they love it. It's so exciting. And newspaper is everywhere. And then finally, all of us at some point or other like the comics. We enjoy reading the comics, and the comics give me tickles. I just thoroughly enjoy them, and tonight I was really hoping that Yvonne would be here, because there's a coupon on this gift that I wrapped, or I should say a comic on this gift that I wrapped, and it's so perfect for him. Listen to this. Adam and Eve, they're in the garden, and she's running out of the garden, chasing Adam. But how could it have been forbidden? It's both organic and gluten-free. So let me pass the hat so you can see how you can also wrap gifts with your newspaper. How many have done this? Wrap gifts with the funnies. And you can make specific gifts for specific people by targeting. And so it makes it very personal. So we're going to pass that around, and I'm going to encourage all of you. I love the newspaper. I love reading the newspaper. I enjoy it immensely because it keeps me abreast. And it is, today, the source of this speech. In actuality, it occurred in the Tampa Bay Times newspaper, the information of which I am giving you. So I encourage you all, don't underestimate the newspaper. There's many things you could do with it. And I want to encourage the person who is now holding that wrapped gift. Where's the wrapped gift? To open it. And I would like you to enjoy giving it to someone else. Mr. Toastmaster.